mine first. And then we don't have a big group. Hopefully we'll have more come. Like I said, I didn't re-announce group tonight. And if I don't announce it, ladies still forget, even though we get messages in our trainer eyes and stuff, they still forget. So anyways, what I wanted to talk about tonight was just on my end of it, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about too, was mindset. I had a client say to me the other day, she said, I hear this all the time. It just wasn't this one client, but she said, you know, this just the tracking, it really wears on me. It's just so much time and effort. And of course, I've done it for years, you know. And so the first thing I said to her was, well, let's think about this for a minute. And I said, I'd love to video record myself actually weighing and measuring my food because it's so quick for me. Camry, I need you to quit. Shh, eat your food. Sorry, my granddaughter's talking to herself and I'm like, ah. And I said, let's really think about this. And I said, how long does it really take you to weigh and measure your food? So we've got a scale and we put our plate on it and we put the food on there, or if we're packing our lunch for lunch, we put the food on there and then we put one item on and then we reset it. And we put another item on and we reset it. And we put another item on and we reset it. Then we sit down and we eat it. How much time does that really take? Like, honestly, how much time does it really take? Or is it just that we have to do it? I said, if we look at the time it really takes and not letting it overwhelm us, tell me how much time that takes. Seconds. And then if you got to enter it, usually it's something you've eaten before. So it shows up really fast in your diary and you can just go, oh, whatever it was, chicken. We all eat chicken. And you just boom, boom. And usually we're eating about the same size and everything, 4 ounces of chicken or 5 ounces of chicken. And we put it in our app and we're done. But here's the thing that happens. We get overwhelmed sometimes with the small details. We have these mindsets like, oh, that is too much. Oh, that's too hard. Oh, it just takes too much effort. When really spinning our wheels and working out at the gym and thinking we're kind of getting our food right, but we're not actually really, really sure, that requires effort. And here's what I mean by that. That requires effort because we have to realize that we're not seeing the progress that we want to see. And because we're not seeing the progress, now we've got to push and we don't understand why we're not seeing the results. And that happens a lot of times. I have women hit and miss on their diet all the time. And I think something's really wrong. I'm not losing weight. I don't understand what's going on. Well, how many calories are you getting? Well, I'm not eating that much. Well, I can't help you because I don't know. Honestly, if you're just guessing and then I've got to come in and coach that, I don't know how to coach that because I don't know. I don't know if calories are too high. I don't know if your metabolism is slowed down. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if you're eating the right amount of sugar, if you're all over the board with your fats. I have no idea. If you're not getting your protein in. Now as a coach, I'm going, oh, I don't know what to do either. So I don't know how to fix it. And then some women never start tracking their food. But I want to tell you this. When Wade has a competition, I mean, Wade tracks almost all the time anyway, but when he has a competition, that man is a tracking star. Like he is tracking, weighing, tracking, adding more meat, tracking. I mean, he's just doing it. Now he eats the same thing almost 7 times a day and he's still weighing it every time, aren't you, babe?
Yes.
And even if it's whitefish and rice, he is weighing it every time because he knows that it makes a difference because he's got a date that he has to walk on stage in a pair of shorts to compete. And he's paid a lot of money to be there for the competition. And he knows I better have my butt in gear and track because if I'm off, I'm going to be looking at myself and saying, you're an idiot. Why didn't you take care of business? See, and in our minds, we're like, oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty close. I know I'm probably getting my protein in. I don't think I'm over on my calories. And to be really honest, if we want to hit a goal, we have to be consistent. And it really only takes a few seconds if we think about it. It really does. The harder part is being inconsistent and then wondering why in the heck am I failing? Why can't I do this? And just struggling and struggling and struggling. And I hate that part of it. So if you're doing it right, if you're tracking it and all that stuff, then I can also come in and go, oh, wait a minute. Okay, let's clean up your food a little bit because you're eating a lot of processed food. Maybe that will help. And sometimes it does. I had a woman, I cleaned up her diet and she immediately began losing weight. And the calories and the macros were the same. And she took all these processed foods out of her life and she started losing weight. She had 8 pounds left to lose. She couldn't lose it and she started losing it and she got done and she was over with the program. So happy she lost it. Some other times it is your sugar's too high. And if you're insulin resistant at all, if you're carrying a bunch of weight around your middle, then if your sugars are off, then you better bring them down and get your fiber up because that will help you start losing inches. Sometimes your calories are too high. That sounds funny too, because we set your calories pretty low if you're losing weight, but sometimes you're high because your metabolism is slowed for some reason, like not eating enough food. And we can find that out if you're tracking your food. And I can look at it and go, you're tracking your food and you're not losing weight. Oh my gosh, we probably either need to rebuild your metabolism or drop calories. And we've got to make a decision. So see, that's what tracking does. That tracking helps me understand what's going on with your body and how to see great success. And sometimes we have to track and then readjust and readjust. But I'm going to tell you, if you're tracking and you're hit and miss and you're all over the place and you can't figure it out, just dial in your tracking. And this other client said the same thing. She said, you know what? There's things that I tell my kids to do. And she goes, they will procrastinate. They won't do it. They're like, oh God, why do I got to do that? And she said, I looked at one of them and I said, it literally takes you like 3 minutes. That's all it takes you. 3 minutes. Quit making such a big deal out of that. And now she was looking to herself going, okay, it literally takes 3 minutes. I'm doing the same things I tell my kids. I got to quit making such a big deal out of it and just do it. And she's so right. How right is that? So right, you know? So don't let the small things overwhelm you. That's not that big. It's really not that big of a deal, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree too. All right. So I wanted to get that out of the way, but there's these mindsets that we have to break to succeed. And I know that Nicola and many of you, because many of you have met me through, I love Tony, Tony, who is he? Who is he, Nicola? Who is it?
Tony Robbins.
Thank you. I've got a headache again this week. So sorry, guys. Tony Robbins, just really, whether you love him or hate him, I have learned so much about mindset from him and Dean Graziosi and people like Alex Hormozi and people like that just change my mindset. My husband changes my mindset. One day he looked at me, he said, you are the most negative person. He said, you are just negative. And I said, I don't think I'm negative. He goes, well, you're always looking for the dark side. What could happen? And I said, yeah, I probably do that. I'm a realist, but you have to prepare for the dark side. But I tend to go there. I let things overwhelm me that are not really a big deal. And I make a big deal out of it. And it stops me. Not only has it stopped me on my diet and workouts in the past, but it has stopped me in life. Like when I turned 51 and I had no job, no home, nothing but the clothes on my back. That was in 2020. It overwhelmed me, especially when I got that email that said from Lowe's, you're not qualified to work here. And we were in COVID. I had no job. I had quit my career, walked away from everything I owned. And I thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Everything overwhelmed me. Now that was a big situation that overwhelmed me. But even in that big situation, I realized that taking one step at a time could change my life. And that's what got me here. Just like you want to change your body, one step at a time, becoming consistent at the things that help you win. They're not that big of deals, but if you take them on one at a time, it can literally not only transform your body, but change your health and change your life, because those same disciplines that you're learning on this journey with weight and health transfer into so many other areas of your life, your business, your relationships, everything. We're learning great discipline here. So build the disciplines. Don't let the small things overwhelm you, and take it a chunk at a time. One of the things I told a lady to do the other day, she started back at her job, and another lady is going to college and has a job, and they're like, what am I going to do? I can't get my food in. Well, set up a crock pot. Put your stuff in the crock pot. Don't let the small things overwhelm you. You don't have to go cook 5 times a day. Get a crock pot, throw some stuff in there, and then there you go. There's your food. 8 hours later, 6 hours later, whatever it is, you've got some amazing tasting food. I saw a man on Instagram put together a crock pot meal. He put in chicken breast, he put in salsa, he put in rice, all of it. Came home and it was done when he got off work. And I thought, how simple is that? There's so many ways for us to succeed. There's companies where we can order frozen meals that are already counted out with macros and calories that help us meet our goals. It's not as hard as we think, but we're making it bigger in our minds than it actually is. So get your mindset right, and it's just reeling yourself back in and looking at the situation and going, I've done much harder things than this. But for some reason, this thing is overwhelming me. Why is that? And it's something new for a lot of people, or it's something we failed at in the past. And we just think we can't overcome it, but you can. You can overcome it. You can do it. It's not that hard. Look at all the hard things you've really done in your lifetime. And you tell me that weighing and measuring your food and getting your workouts in is hard. It's almost laughable sometimes. It is. It's like some of you built multi-million-dollar businesses. And you're going to tell me weighing and measuring your food and getting your workouts in is hard. Now, come on, okay? Get an assistant then and let them weigh and measure your food and order your meals online, whatever it takes. And some of us are in that same position, but hey, we've done much harder things, ladies. There's things we had to go through in life that was so much harder, and we accomplished it. We came out on the other side with success. So don't let this overwhelm you. All right. All right. That's all I've got about that. So any of you, I would love you to speak up if you're having any issues with anything, any problems with anything, all of that. Let's talk about it. Okay. The floor is yours.
I do have something.
Go right ahead.
I would like to know what everybody eats or does for constipation, because I eat so much protein sometimes I have a hard time going to the bathroom. Other than pounding water, I want to know what everybody else is doing.
Well, first off, monitoring your fiber is going to help. And so I know that that's kind of new to you, but if you bring your fiber up, then you're definitely going to have to make sure you're getting at least 64 ounces. And I know you drink water, so at least 64 ounces. And if you're constipated, I would go more. I would go like 3/4 of a gallon to a gallon of water every day. That's what I would do. You're already taking magnesium. I know that about you. So magnesium is another thing I would say. Also this Miralax, I've got it. And because I've had constipation issues almost my entire life, Gentle-Lax, Miralax, I have it every day, and it helps me go to the bathroom with the magnesium. And so I have no issues. I would try that. Now, Miralax isn't something to get you going right away, but you have to take it every day. Okay. Another thing you could get is like a stool softener. Those are just over the counter stool softeners. You could get that. That will help you and get going. And if you're having an issue with constipation and high protein, probably pull the protein down for a little bit and get that issue taken care of. Because if you continue to eat like you're eating and you don't change something, it can just get worse, and you don't want that. So I would get something like, for myself personally, what I would do would get X-Lax or something like that to help me go to the restroom, just because it tends to get worse before it gets better. So I would get something to relieve that right away and then kind of make sure you get your fiber in, your water in, your magnesium in, maybe take your Miralax and stuff like that every day and just get it turned around. Anybody
Okay.
else have anything on that? Nope.
I just make sure I have at least 30 grams of fiber a day, and water. I drink 2 of these. This is 2 liters. So I drink 2 of them, and it works really well.
Good,
Okay.
good.
All right, thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else have anything else they want to mention or having issues with? You guys are just too easy tonight. There's Deanna driving. We got Bonnie driving. We've got Melissa was driving. I don't know where she went. Roberta's driving. I think Roberta's driving. It's good to see you ladies on here. I'm so glad you tuned in while you're driving. That's cool. I think Bonnie's driving. I can't see everybody, so very cool to have you guys. So, okay, so you guys got the sugar and fiber thing in your inbox yesterday, correct?
Yes.
Did you get a chance to look at it?
Yes.
Good. Some of you have, some of you haven't. So the more I study on fiber and on sugar, guys, the more I realize that women with hormonal issues need to make sure their fiber is over 25 or 30. Just, I would say over 30, but fiber is something that you want to walk up. Here is what fiber does if you haven't read it. You know, fiber makes you feel more full. I used to think it was just to help old people go poo, and it's not. Fiber also, whenever we're having hormonal issues, whenever you go into perimenopause and menopause, our estrogen will just sometimes go up really high, and it's kind of all over the place. But because estrogen will be dominant, it causes us to store body fat. But here's what getting in fiber does. Listen to this, and low sugar. High fiber will help you excrete the extra estrogen. Did you know that? And so because of that, it helps fight against insulin resistance, which makes us, because of the estrogen dominance, makes us store fat around our middles. So fiber can help fix that. Now, is it, I'll take some fiber today, I'll be skinny tomorrow? No, it doesn't work like that. It's a process, because that fiber begins to feed the good gut microbiome, or the good gut bacteria. Those gut bacteria are not just for losing weight or anything like that. What those good gut bacteria are, they are your immune system, really is what it is. They do lots of processes in your body, but they're about 75% of your immune system. So that is their food. The fiber is their food. So when we're eating an American diet, I'm not for sure about England, Nicola, but in America, they take fiber out of almost everything, and then they put enriched fiber back in, but it's not the same. Okay, it's not at all the same. Then the fiber is processed. So here's what happened to those happy little gut bacteria. They starve to death. And when they die, bad bacteria start taking over. How many of you have had sugar cravings? I am one of them. Those bad bacteria, guess what they want you to eat? Sugar. They want you to eat sugar because that's their food. They don't want you to eat fiber because that's for the good bacteria. They want you to eat sugar because that's their food. And when they get it, they multiply. So what happens is those bad bacteria start saying, sugar, you need sugar, have sugar, it's yummy, you want sugar. And we go eat it, and we're feeding those bad bacteria. And it's changing our hormones, it's offsetting them, it's killing our immune system. We can't fight off diseases, and it's wreaking havoc on our body. So we got to start, you know, many of you I've preached fiber to since you've been on the program and you still aren't getting it. And I think many of you think, well, it's just because out this and that. It's not that big a deal. Ladies, fiber is really a big deal. It really is. It's not just about weight loss. It's also about your immune system. So to rebuild those good gut bacteria, we can do it. We can do it, but they need food. So you have to feed them fiber. Okay. Real fiber, not the fake fiber you take in a pill, fiber pills, all those kind of fiber supplements. They do exactly what they're intended for. They help you go poo. The food fiber that you get in the food that's not been processed, like in the blackberries, raspberries, avocado, all those fibrous foods, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, I put a lot of the low calorie, low sugar ones in your list yesterday in your inbox, in Messenger, in Trainerize. Okay. And those ones right there are the ones that feed the good gut bacteria, and they have low calories. They're the lower calorie version of fiber. So make sure you look at them. And so you would not think an apple is bad, right? It's not. But some of us peel the apple. And so we're taking the good part of the fiber away from the apple. So leave the peel on if you're going to eat an apple. Okay. Clean it really good, but leave the peel on, because that is the fiber that your body wants. Without the peel, the apple isn't as nutritious to your body. So leave it on there. And things like that. So try to not change up your fruit. If it was made a certain way, try to eat it that way. You know, don't try to fancy it up and make it nicer. It's good just the way it was. All right. So those good gut bacteria, we want them to be healthy and strong and to reproduce, because those are the good gut bacteria that not only help us break things like insulin resistance, where we're storing fat around our middles. It helps they actually help level out our hormones. They get rid of extra estrogen. They fight diseases. And whenever we have antibiotics, what happens then is that not just the bad bacteria die, but the good bacteria die too. Those wonderful bacteria, those good gut microbiome, they die. Okay. So after you're sick, many of you have been sick, after you're done taking your antibiotics, because if you start taking this food while you're taking your antibiotics, you're just going to take in good gut bacteria, and the antibiotics are going to keep killing it. So when you're done with your antibiotics, you need to take some food like yogurt, probiotics, those types of things to help bring back those good gut bacteria into your body. Okay. So things like kefir, things like foods that are fermented. There are real pickles, not the ones that are flavored deal, but there are real pickles like Bubby's pickles in the States that are real fermented pickles. And they fermented foods like fermented carrots. You can make homemade cabbage that is fermented. You can buy some fermented real sauerkraut at the store. When I said make homemade cabbage, I mean make homemade, what did I just say? Shoot. My brain is dead when I have a headache like this. What was it? Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut?
Make the sauerkraut at home, and it ferments, and it is so good for your stomach. I know a lot of you don't like that sauerkraut, but that's the real stuff. That's the fermented stuff. So you can look up how to make fermented vegetables online. And it really is so good for your immune system. And if you're fighting a disease, like somebody that has cancer or something like that, some kind of issue, you're having irritable bowel syndrome, you've been sick for a long time and you can't seem to shake it, those kinds of foods are ones you want to really focus on. And things like kimchi, kefir, all that stuff. Kombucha is a drink that you can get. All of those type of things are really, really good. So look up fermented foods, foods that feed your good gut bacteria, foods that help your gut microbiome. Okay. And if you're dealing with things with like depression, all that kind of stuff, anxiety, PTSD, there is a gut brain connection. So if your gut is messed up, it causes things like depression. It messes with you mentally even. So you have to take care of those good gut microbiome. Okay. And so start feeding them that fiber, bring your sugar down, because it's going to help starve out the bad bacteria that you do not want. And it's going to help you not only lose weight and balance your hormones and get rid of the extra fat, get rid of the extra estrogen, but it's going to help your immune system fight off diseases and all of that. Okay, so it's really important. Fiber, just do it. I think I'm gonna get a shirt that says fiber, just do it. It's important. All right, any questions about any of that? Y'all are easy tonight. Fiona, your face is looking thin, woman.
Yay! Another thing I wanted to share too, that I've been taking is mushroom supplements. It has anti-inflammatory in it. It's good for your gut. It's what do you call it? What's the opposite of acidic? It's like neutral. So it neutralizes your gut. It's alkaline.
Alkaline.
So
Yeah.
and it helps with bloating and stuff too. So I just go on Amazon. They have different price ranges, but it's like 8 different mushrooms. And yeah. So
Good. Yeah, they have mushroom coffee right now too. That is, I thought it would be gross, and I got it, and I was just like so surprised. I actually liked it. The first
Are
sip
you-
though, I
are-
was just like, oh
Did
god,
you
it's
take-
gonna taste.
are you taking the Rise?
I was using Rise for a long time. I haven't had it for a while, but the first sip of Rise, I'm sitting there going, oh god, it's gonna taste like beef stew or something. I'm just like, oh.
But I
Yeah,
put liquid stevia and then the almond milk, and I used the frother, and it tastes like hot chocolate.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I put a flavored creamer in it, and
Okay,
I
yeah.
loved it. So
Yeah.
I loved it, and I thought it's really good. So I really loved it. Really good for your gut. Expensive though. It's expensive. It is, but it's good. Doni, I'm so glad that you're feeling better.
I am feeling better.
You have been so sick.
Yes.
So many of you ladies have had just sicknesses, and it's just awful. It's just kind of going around all this stuff right now. So kids went back to school and everyone started getting sick. Ladies, that's all I've got, unless you have something. We're 6:59. We were not windy.
I was just gonna ask is what about black beans or canola beans for fiber? What do you think?
Ooh,
Like
Good. They're
a little bit of that.
high in carb, but they're really good. So if you can fit them in with your carbs, they're great. I love black beans especially. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I had a half a cup tonight, hoping it helps.
Yeah. Yeah. You might want to go get you something like X-Lax or something to go right away, because you don't want it to get worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Pull back your protein some, definitely. And eat things like, that are good for your digestion. And I would get going right away to the bathroom as much as possible so it doesn't just get worse. For me,
Yeah.
if I don't take care of it right away, it just gets out of control. So.
Yep. All right, thanks.
Oh, ladies, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for showing up tonight. We've got 10 of us on here, and I really appreciate it. We've got about 120 clients, but we only have usually about 10% show up to these groups, and most ladies watch them later because they got families and they got to cook and all the stuff. But I appreciate you ladies for being so faithful to show up. I love you ladies, and don't forget to make your coaching calls, all right? And track your food. I'll talk to you ladies later. Have a great night.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Bye.